Olaf says, a question about duplicate content. Do I use the same content in the GStacks as in the GSIte as on the money site? So if I iframe the money site onto the GSIte, the content appears twice and there is no problem with that. My question, well, first of all, I'd love to get Marco's opinion on this. Here's the thing. On the GSIte, why even put content on the pages if you're going to embed the money site page? It will read the content of the embed, and that will become the content of the page. It'll even show up in the meta description in search. So for my projects, I don't put content on the pages. You guys have to excuse me. I've got a call coming in. I don't know how to silence that right now. Stand by. Okay. So yeah, so I don't actually put content on the pages. Well, sometimes I do. It just depends on the page. But for the most part, if I'm embedding pages, it's going to be embedded pages, and that's it. The content is produced through the embed. You want to comment on that, Marco?
Yeah, I don't understand the iframe question. If you understand iframes, then what you're doing through the iframe is you're displaying your home page on the GSIte. That's all that is. I mean, so it's not a copy. And let's get away from duplicate content. There's no such thing as duplicate content. It's bullshit. It's a myth. It doesn't happen. If there were such a thing as duplicate content, we said it time and again. Press releases would, I mean, they'd be out of work. They wouldn't work. It just doesn't make sense to say that there is a duplicate content. There could be a duplicate content penalty and all these other things that people say, which we have shown time and again are not true. We showed it in the mastermind, as a matter of fact, on Ask Marco Anything webinar. We showed it. There is no such thing as duplicate content. And so with that in mind, you could do whatever you want on that GSIte because it's going to be relevant. It's relevant to whatever it is that you're doing. We use other people's content. Sometimes we use our own content. Sometimes it's just iframes. It just depends on what it is that we're trying to do.
Yeah. Okay, he says also because the GSIte takes the schema from the iframe site, it now has the featured image of the iframed site in mobile search, even though that image does not appear anywhere on the GSIte. I thought you might like to know that, and if you already do, maybe know a way to undo this. I don't know why you would want to undo it. Look, I don't care what, you know, if something like that happens, because my point is the search results are just more of my entity. Does that make sense? So like, and I've had, you know, people say, well, you know, my client doesn't like the GSIte appearing in the search results for, you know, their keyword or for their brand name. Why? Would you rather a competitor's website be ranked there? And, you know, we make them look really good. They'll convert. I mean, you know, so anyway, my point is, as long as I'm taking up real estate on the first page with my entity assets, I don't care, you know, because it's pushing a competitor off the page, period. End of story. And if every one of those links open up to a branded entity asset that's going to lead back to my company or the company that I'm promoting for the project, then I really don't care if something like that happens, or which properties appear in search. For example, paper.li, which is one of the network properties in our syndication networks, that for whatever reason is ranking super well right now for like brand searches. And when you click on it, you know, if you've got your RSS feeding into the you know, newspaper.li, newspaper or whatever they call it, then, you know, it's branded content on the paper.li profile. So like, it's not something I would typically push intentionally to the first page, but on a lot of projects I have right now, for whatever reason, paper.li is ranking for the brand search. So I'm not going to go disable it or delete it because my client doesn't want paper.li showing up for their brand search. I just tell them, hey, look, that could have been your competitor. You know what I mean? So my point is, I don't know why that's an issue. I appreciate you bringing that to my attention, but honestly, it doesn't bother me to have that happen. Anybody want to comment on that?
No. I mean, it doesn't make sense not to want as much not to want to take up as much real estate as possible. Take it up. Take up as much as you can. If you're doing it through iframes, I mean, that's fine. It'll go to the client eventually. And if not, then it's reinforcing the entity. Any clicks on that image just reinforces the entity.